Stephen Craig Paddock was an auditor for the Department of Defense, and the Department of Defense is a division of the SPFPA, who had the security contract on October 1st, 2017 at the Mandalay Bay. You can see Marilou Danley's picture on the left. She was born in the Philippines. She was married twice. Her first husband died. She's a citizen of Australia. She married in 1990 Gary Danley. His picture's on the right. He's also an Australian. He was an auditor for FedEx. Very hard to get information on him. He's related somehow to this company that you see here, and that has been the extent of what I could find out about him so far. They were married during the time that she started seeing Stephen Paddock. Between 2010 and 2013, Marilou worked at Atlantis Casino Resort in Reno. During that time, she lived with Geary and was married to Geary. In 2013, Atlantis executive John Weinreich reported that Marilou regularly attended Paddock. One day, Marilou was gone without giving notice to management, although fellow workers said she left with Paddock for good. Around this time, Marilou moves to Montage Condo in Reno, owned by Paddock, originally a casino converted into condos. In 2015, Geary and Marilou file for a divorce that is finalized the next day. During the divorce, Marilou is listed as living at the Montage Condo. We also know that in exchange for signing a non-disclosure agreement and remaining silent, basically, the MGM gave Jesus Campos a condo similar to one like this. An Australian man who came to know Paddock intimately in recent years said Paddock figured out a way to exploit the video poker machines using algorithms, and he made money whenever he wanted to doing it. Paddock never needed money. Relatives and property records indicate that Paddock was making money in real estate, not losing money. In 2016, Paddock moves from Florida to Nevada. On September 15, 2017, Marilou leaves the U.S. and goes first to Tokyo, Japan, and then to the Philippines. We will demonstrate how Marilou's behavior and movements indicate she was involved more, and she limits her involvement by being dishonest and uncooperative with investigators. She's evasive. On September 22nd, using an Australian passport, Marilou flies from the Philippines to Hong Kong. We know that she's fleeing from investigators. We think it's the FBI, although we're not positive on that point. On September 25th, Marilou flies from Hong Kong back to the Philippines again. Between September 25th and September 28th, Paddock and 30 FBI agents check into the Mandalay Bay. We believe that the FBI was conducting an investigation. On October 1st, at around 10:08 p.m., shooting begins. Officers are hit. A rookie is hit in the shoulder and the side. You can see here Casey Clarkson is hit in the neck. It looks like it's shrapnel. And an off-duty officer named Hartfield was also killed during the shooting. So these are real bullets flying. We know that two shooters were shooting from an elevated position, but it was a low elevated position, much lower than the 32nd floor. We used techniques recommended by Mike Adams to triangulate. We'll get into some of the things in a moment. This area is only accessible for security. No one else can get out there. And you'll look over here is the small octagon roof that Hank Sullivan was talking about not far away. So these lower roof areas are where some of the shooters were located. Here's a great aerial view. And you can see right in here, this is where at least one shooter was shooting from this little roof area here, and that is only accessible via security. No one else is going to be able to get out there. So just a close-up, this is the area right up in here where somebody was shooting down, and then possibly over in this area as well. We know that there was for a fact that there was two shooters shooting from an elevated position, but it was a low elevated position.
Control 307 WC, can we contact Planet Hollywood? We're getting some reports, possibly some shots there.
What was the per traffic reference to Paris?
I don't know if Vice Victor originally said there were shots fired, but she did not hear them, and people were running everywhere, and that was being reported at 434.
Control 1 Robert 18, security talking to me right now. They stated that a person saw a male with a 413 and says it looks toward male's restroom. So go back around, I'll wait for you.
We need a
2-4 units on post. We're going to continue to get these reports. Please try and vet them and remain as calm as you can while handling them.
Control RT-15.
Just be advised, if you have anybody at the Tropicana at 23:30 hours, there was a subject that was on top of the valet brake. Right at the front of the casino, he was running across the roof right above where the valet pickup is.
There was a unit at the Tropicana about 6 ago. There was somebody on top of the valet, in front of the casino near valet pickup.
Please be advised, at the Bellagio employee entrance, there's a male walking in with a rifle. Bellagio employee entrance. Three armored cars.
At the Cromwell. We'll move over to the Bellagio.
The LVMPD recovers a charger used for U.S. military intelligence and CIA devices. They also discover child porn and a missing hard drive, and they turn that stuff over to the FBI. This is exactly the type of stuff that the FBI would have been investigating there in the first place. At 2:46 a.m., Marilou deletes her Facebook page that allegedly showed ties to terrorists. And then at 3:30 a.m. after that, authorities release Paddock's name. Interestingly, immediately after the shootings, Gary Danley is unofficially named as the shooter all across the internet. And I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss why that might have happened and the implications of that. Very odd for that name, of all the names, to be accused of being the shooter, for Gary Danley's name to pop up immediately. On October 2nd, according to 21 Wire, the intelligence monitoring group SITE Intel Group released the false information that ISIS was responsible and Paddock converted to Islam. SITE Intel Group has ties to Mossad and the CIA. On October 3rd, the FBI searches the home of John Beelman as part of an investigation. John Beelman it was part of another case. It's a murder-suicide case. The investigation is about information being exchanged illegally between Beelman's company Ultralife Corporation and the CIA. A couple of days later, the Pentagon awards Ultralife a new contract valued at over $49 million, and the FBI chose not to comment when asked about the details regarding the search and the investigation. Authorities catch up with Marilou in Tokyo and tell her she needs to return to the U.S. and cooperate with the investigation. On October 3rd, 2017, Marilou was met by the FBI at LA International Airport. She told investigators that her fingerprints would probably be on the ammo, and sure enough, it was. Newsweek issues a story saying that Marilou Danley was using two different social security numbers, and she, in the past, was married to two guys at the same time, Geary and also Jose Bustos. The story was retracted, and supposedly it was all false. However, ABC News had an interview with Ronaldo Bustos, a Philippine relative of Marilou's. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Same last name is the retracted Newsweek article. Wonder if there's a connection. A mysterious witness, name redacted by the Associated Press and Reno Gazette-Journal, was present at both of Marilou's divorce hearings. If Marilou's first husband died and she divorced Geary, who was this second divorce to? ? When contacted after the shootings, the mysterious witness was very belligerent. It's also odd that the mysterious witness was present at both divorce hearings. They search the home of Stephen Paddock and Marilou Danley. They find tons and tons of guns with her fingerprints all over them. Former FBI agent Steve Gomez has questions for her regarding that. How she can say she doesn't know anything and has nothing to do with it. In closing, we don't know the fate of Paddock. Leaked photos indicate that the body presented in 32-135 was not Stephen Craig Paddock, after studying the earlobes. Sheriff Lombardo implied Paddock planned to escape. Without giving us much detail, he only mentions this hose. But there had to be more reason than just this hose for the sheriff to think that Paddock planned to escape. In the end, the casino, backed by the CIA, SPFPA, Department of Defense, and Department of Homeland Security, chose the official narrative. The casino chose a narrative that served them, protected them, and served their interests. Key witnesses, like Jesus Campos, for example, were silenced by signing non-disclosure agreements.